What's up, guys? Dylan Moon here with
Nate?
and today we're going to be talking about some One Piece theories. I have a list of One Piece theories that I looked up online, and I'm just going to read them, and we're going to kind of discuss them and say, like, the likelihood on them happening and what we think of them, if it's a good theory, like, just like our opinions on it. So, we'll get to it. Number one, and this is one that I've seen a lot of places. It's not really something I've seen a lot of videos on, but I've seen it on, like, Reddit and stuff. And they're like, I kind of think this is going to happen, and it's
A believable one.
Frankie is going to make the Sunny into Pluton because he has the blueprints for Pluton.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that, like very late game One Piece, when it's like a big catastrophic like war and shit, that Frankie makes. Like, could you? Because, like, if you think about, they're going against Blackbeard they're going to be going against Blackbeard.
Might be the world government as well.
True, like the Gorosei and stuff.
Yeah, because they're covering shit up.
Military power, like, yeah. So they're going against a huge military power. They're going against a dude that can create earthquakes. So it's only, and they also the mermaid that's Poseidon.
Yeah.
It's only natural that, like, they have at least one of the ancient weapons, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I thought that's kind of creative, I think. Like,
yeah, I could see it happening too. It's hard to get an outlandish one. Or it's not outlandish, but one that's a little off the walls, but it's believable.
Yeah,
like that could definitely happen. I could see it happening.
I like that theory a lot. Okay, number two. Instead, Buggy. Okay, you remember? I'm just gonna go. It's actually Buggy D. Clown instead of the Clown, because this one's kind of a joke one, but like with the Gold Rogers thing, where it's like, actually, I'm not Gold Rogers, I'm Gold D Rogers. Like when he said that to Whitebeard.
Yeah.
So that was just, I thought
that explains his power increase after the time skip. He's coming into his own.
Well, how about, okay, well, actually, this isn't on the list, but
yeah.
This leads into an actual theory that I just thought of. I'm kind of in the school of thought that Buggy will eventually be a Yonko, just because it's the running joke in One Piece that Buggy gets things that are, like, so far above what he actually is.
Yeah, I could see it.
That's a stretch, but, like,
I wouldn't be that surprised.
Like, this would be late game. This would be, like, after another time skip. That's not going to happen.
See, I actually think that Buggy would maybe find himself as an underling again of one of the current Yonkos, because I think they're going to abolish the Shichibukai, because Fujitora wants that, and I hope he gets it, because I don't think it's a good system.
He called in Cobra.
Yeah.
For a meeting.
Yeah, so hopefully that goes through. They get rid of that system. And if that's the case, I think there's going to be, like, a miniature war, or maybe, like, a full-on war, because the Shichibukai are not going to, like, they're not going to be happy about that, obviously, especially some of them. So we might see some of them line up with the government side of things, like just completely defect to be a Marine, but you also might have other ones that are saying no, and then they'll go to either be with a Yonko or on their own and just be a pirate, I guess. So what a Buggian's there.
I feel like we're going to do this a lot in this video, but let me branch off. let me branch off.
Oh, that's good.
And because you just brought up Reverie, you brought up, okay, because
yeah.
Fujitora took aside people that had been affected by the Shichibukai being evil, the king of fucking Dressrosa,
yeah.
and the king of Alabasta, and they obviously, like, the coincidence there is that they both had evil Shichibukai that almost destroyed their country, so that we obviously know why Fujitora is talking to them. So I'll segue into, what do you think happened at Reverie for them to off-page it? Because you know what I think happened? I'm just going to go ahead and say what I think happened. I think we're going to get this via Big News Morgan. I think we're going to get this in the paper.
Yeah.
I think that we're going to get a paper in Wano, like, before everything hits the fan, that in the meeting, in that huge room, they're all talking to each other, I think Dragon appears on the middle table and declares war against the world government. That's what I think.
That'd be awesome. I hope, we probably won't get to see it, really, but, like, even if it does happen, but I wish we would. That'd be great.
Oh my god, that would be fun. But as a dragon.
I mean,
no, I'm just kidding.
I guess I'd go the boring route for what I think happened off screen, and he just went to them and said, like, hey, I'm going to bring up to all the higher ups here above me that I think the Shichibukai system is busted, and you guys are prime examples of that. And I need you guys to like vouch for me and say like that it's not a good system because it almost destroyed your country. Yeah, I think that's the conversation they have.
Do you think Dragon was at Reverie? We have nothing to believe he was. We just know that they were going to declare war. Or they plan to declare war.
I wouldn't say no. Just because Sabo is there.
Because why would he just send people with like?
Yeah, exactly. And they were high-ranked people too.
The highest, yeah.
Yeah, so why would you need that much strength and like the head honcho?
We saw in the paper, and I don't want to stay on this too long. I want to get to the next theory, but to wrap it up, we also saw that Sabo we saw that the revolutionaries clashed.
Yeah.
With the Navy admirals because on that scene with Blackbeard, they were reading the paper and they brought up how fucking Sabo and like the other
how the revolutionaries went at him.
Yeah, you're probably right, but could you imagine that?
That'd be amazing.
I would love to see that. Okay, we're at theory 3, even though we've talked about more than that. Kawina is Tashigi. How do you feel about Kawina being Tashigi? Because I think it's extremely realistic. I don't know if I would be satisfied with it, but I can see where people would think this. It definitely could happen, but I don't know if I would like it.
I think I'm on the same page as you. I think it's super possible if that happens, but I don't know that I want it to. Like, I could be okay with it, but I don't know that I'd love it.
Because they look alike.
Yeah.
Both obsessed with swords.
Yep.
Swordsmanship. So, like, that's really...
I think there's at least going to be, like... Well, we already know, like, it's implied, right? That's why Zora has, like, an issue with her or whatever. Like, they were, like, drawn to each other, so... Yeah. That'd be crazy for that to come
Zoro literally, like, he was, like, taken aback when he met her the first time.
Yeah. Yeah, he thought that was who it was, so...
Yeah. Okay, 4, and I just kind of briefly alluded to this, but... let's both state what we think Dragon's fruit is, because we've really seen nothing from Dragon in retrospect. If you think about 20 years of a manga, if you think about 938 chapters, we've seen nothing from Dragon, but we have seen little things that have foreshadowed his devil fruit that happened probably 18 years ago. And it's like, these little things could be, I would say, 3 different things.
All right.
This is my opinion. It can either be... I'm going to throw in a 4th thing okay.
Is that 4th one something that you want but might not happen?
Okay. Storm Paramecia.
Okay.
Wind Logia.
Yeah.
Dragon Zone.
Okay.
I think it's a dragon.
Where's your 4th?
I'll get to know. I think that later on in the series, and we're starting to see this already, but I think that Hawkeye, I think that there's just so, I think that it's kind of like, it would kind of be like Sage Jutsu, if that makes sense, like Senjutsu, or like or like Yin Yang Release or Sage 6 Pass, if we're talking about Naruto, like that level. But I think that there's I think that there's like a transcendent level of Hawkeye. Like, we keep seeing that Hawkeye evolves and stuff. I think that people like Shanks and Dragon, like Dragon's like tattoo and shit. I think that he is, I don't want to say like a sage or something like that, but like I think that there's like levels of Hawkeye that are like godlike, and I think that he might be able to manipulate weather with Hawkeye. But I have nothing to prove this. It's just things I think.
You know what though? If that comes out, then they could tie that in and say that that's why Nami can control weather. Because she hasn't known. She hasn't known that she has had Hawkeye this whole time, but that's what it is. That'd be interesting.
I like that, because I always thought it was... I'm not going to get into Climate Attack. I think if I would have to pick one of these, though, I just think that there's super advanced levels of Hawkeye, and I think that Gold Roger, Shanks, like everybody from the series that was extremely high level, but specifically Gold Rogers and Shanks, I think that they had Hawkeye that was shit that we don't even know about yet, just the most top tier Hawkeye that you do shit with time and space.
I would agree. I mean, we've
that.
already seen an instance of that where it's like everyone has observation Hawkeye, or like most people do. But then just super recently in the Big Mom arc, we find out you can see into the future if you excel at it enough. So I'm sure there are more things like that to come down the line.
And for some reason, the tribal tattoo is what makes me think that maybe he kind of like in Skyrim with the the people that teach you the shouts and
Yeah.
stuff. Like something like he went to people that are like haughty, like monks, if that makes sense.
No,
And,
that
like,
does. I get what you're saying.
But if I would have to lean towards one, I would definitely say that he is a dragon, because
Yeah.
just
So
because
specifically think human? He's a human that ate a dragon zoan.
I think that he's a no, I'm just kidding. I think that he's a human that ate a dragon zone. I think that there's multiple dragon zones, and I think that there might even be a Kaido dragon fight where he goes into a dragon. But I'm gonna bring this. This is why I think he's a dragon, and this is the main. This is why people think Dragon's a dragon, and it's because Sabo studied under Dragon, and he
The
uses
dragon claw.
the Dragon Claw.
Yeah.
And people think that Dragon goes into his hybrid state, his half dragon, half human form, and taught Sabo like martial arts and shit, and that's why.
Yeah, and he just like picked it up. All right, you want mine?
No, we'll go on to that. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, tell me what you.
All right, I'm with you, but not entirely. I don't think it's Hockey that lets him control wind. I think it's going to be mythical Zoan Wind Dragon. Because there's a god, Chinese, not Japanese, but there's a god named Ao Kuang. And he is a human that can transform into a dragon. And he controls wind, and he's out on the seas, is what he does a lot. So, I think, just like with a good old Kaido, because I think he's based on a god as well, I think that's what he is. Mythical wind dragon Zoan. That can, so he can control the wind, and he's still a dragon.
Because I never really considered the fact that mythical does give you control of other
Yeah,
shit.
sometimes it does, yeah.
So he could be like a god of the sea.
Yep.
Or something like that. Because that's actually something with Kaido's Devil Fruit reveal when we saw that he was a blue and not a red dragon. Apparently, like, I didn't know this, but watching King of Lightning and people like that, I saw that the reason that they made Kaido a blue dragon is because I guess dragons in like Japanese mythology, Chinese mythology, they're gods of the sea.
Yeah.
So they think that, and I could see that, and especially because the only thing we know about Dragon is that when he appears places, he can make just the weather go fucking nuts with the wind and lightning, saving Luffy with the crack of lightning, making all the people in Marines just fucking
like blowing the wind kicking up.
So he's controlling the weather. We just don't know if he's doing that as a dragon or a straight like wind or because a wind Logia is something we haven't seen, and it would be very strong.
Yeah, and it would make sense too. Yeah.
So, okay. So you think Dragon too?
Yeah, I think Dragon mythical, to be specific.
Okay. Yeah, I like that a lot, actually. Okay, 5. Blackbeard's fruit. Okay. Are you in the school of thought that he can have up to 3 devil fruits? Do you think he can have unlimited devil fruits, like 3?
I think it's at least 3. I wouldn't be surprised if it would be like it's just but I wouldn't be surprised for it to say that it's any, and maybe the method of getting them is incredibly difficult, so it would limit him that way.
Or conditions.
Yeah, some sort of condition where it's like I could have unlimited, but it's so difficult that I just wouldn't. But I think he'll at least have 3 at the end of the series for sure.
Are you in the school of say if it's like, just tell me if your answer is other than this, but there's usually 2 school of thoughts with Blackbeard's devil fruit. And it's Cerberus, which because of his flag being 3 heads, and that he can have that he's gonna have 3 devil fruits, just like a bunch of 3 stuff. I like that idea a lot. But then as soon as because the Cerberus people thought that Kaido might be a Cerberus because everyone just assumed that he has the strongest Logia, he has the strongest Paramecia, he's gonna get the strongest zone, and we knew Kaido to be the king of beasts.
Yeah.
So people thought that Kaido was gonna be a Cerberus. But then Kaido became a dragon, so now,
Cerberus is open again.
Well, and even myself, I see this, imagine Teach as, as Kaido's, dragon form, surrounded in darkness and earthquakes.
Yeah, that'd be crazy to see.
I can't, I don't know which way I'm leaning with that, because Kaido does have to fall.
So what was the theory? But I don't think you quite said that, exactly what it was.
I'm breaking it into parts, but, we're discussing Teach's devil fruit, but I want to know what you think his Zoan will end up being, because you did say that you think that he's going to have 3.
What his Zoan will be? It's hard to say. I still really want to see him. I still really want to see him show up at the end of the Kaido fight, and possibly whenever he dies, take his fruit. I don't think it'll happen, but it'd be just the classic, the same thing he did to Whitebeard. He's going to do it again. But if not that, then I would agree that Cerberus would make sense because, how you said, there's so many threes.
Could you I won't be honest. Could you fucking imagine just how outclassed, like, you know how outclassed Luffy is with Kaido, and like teaches
Yeah.
teaches the last villain of the series, and like they're about to beat Kaido, or they can't beat Kaido, but like they're fighting him, and then Teach comes in and takes Kaido's devil fruit. And then they have to fight Teach at the end. Like the power scaling.
Yeah,
It's
so
like,
that
how would
not
you
only
jump from not being able to beat Kaido
yeah
to having to beat Teach?
yeah yeah that'd be
I
another
just thought
time
of it.
skip, dude. Another time skip. I
I
hope.
hope, dude.
Yeah,
Oh my
but
god.
Cerberus would make sense to me. I'd like to see it, and I also think that if that happens, it will also be a mythical. Because obviously Cerberus is a
Teach
god
is
in
gonna be so
some
strong.
forms
Oh
of
my god.
god study, so
Okay.
it could be mythical as well. That'd be cool.
Now the final part of this Teach question, which is like, this is basically like the biggest Teach like discussion theory. How does he have multiple devil fruits? Do you think it's because of his body type? Do you think it's because he's putting them in his rings, or do you think that it's his body? Because everyone says at Marineford that his body is weird. It's different, and a lot of people think it's his body. Some people think he puts them in his rings, even though I think people have shied away from that as it goes on. And then there's people that think that it's actually the Yami Yami.
See, that's where I would go. I think first is the fruit itself.
That's what I think too.
I think it's at least involved. Maybe there's more to it than just simply I have this fruit, I can now steal others. But I think there's no way that the darkness fruit is not involved with him stealing other people's devil fruits. So that's where I would say that he does it. Because whenever he steals it, he puts him in that room of darkness. And I guess it could have been to hide the technique or whatever.
Like the drape?
Yeah. So, and who knows what he did inside of that room. So it's clearly he didn't want other people to know. So maybe, actually, now that I've talked, I'm actually going to say that it's not the darkness fruit. I'm going to say that it's a technique, and that's why he hid it. Because if it was just the darkness fruit, then he wouldn't have to worry about people redoing what he had done. People could see him do it, and they couldn't do it because they don't have the fruit.
I want to say some people say it's the knife too.
The knife.
He has like this. Yeah, I won't get into it. Yeah.
So I guess I'd go for body at this point then, since I've talked
That's a lot of
myself
people
out of
think
fruit.
that's what it is because because of his odd body type.
Yeah, it's got to be a technique. Why would he want to hide it if it wasn't a technique that other people could recreate? He wouldn't have to worry. You know? That's my stance on it.
I was gonna say that we're going off so little that like we're just trying to make sense of it with that subject.
Yeah.
Dude, this next theory.
So what do you think darkness fruit? Is there any more to that? Why do you think it's the darkness fruit?
I don't know if we have a lot of proof that it is the darkness fruit, but I just don't think I would be satisfied with.
So you don't want it to not be the darkness fruit, rather?
I don't want it to be the body thing. I don't like that. I don't like to hit. Oh, yeah, Blackbeard has an odd, but I could see that being what it is, but I like more of like the actual sound, like using like power. Like this is a universe where we have mythical powers and shit. I just think that the Yami Yami no Mi, it is like it already has the drawback where you're not intangible, and stuff like that.
Yeah. What if it's both?
Well, plus he searched that.
No, seriously, what if it is both? Because you have to remember, he was on Whitebeard's crew for the longest time. You can't tell me that while he was on that crew, he wasn't thinking, whenever the old man dies, whenever he dies, I'll be there. I'll get that fruit. You know, so you just have to wonder, did he know back then how to do it, and he was just waiting for that moment to strike? Because, you know, he plotted to get the darkness fruit as well. Yeah. So, if he was plotting to get the fruit...
Are you saying like he was watching for whichever one came first?
No, I'm just saying that maybe if he was plotting back then to get the darkness fruit, that he was also, back then, he knew that he could somehow take someone else's fruit and have more than one.
With the darkness?
Yeah, maybe with it, maybe without it, maybe how I said it was both. So while he was waiting for that fruit to show up, he was prepping his body, whatever the hell he has to do to make it to where he can. So maybe it's both. And then whenever he got his fruit, he was just lying in wait for Whitebeard to be in a weakened state, and then he swooped in and took it.
Yeah, there's a lot there.
Yeah, you could go
so
any
much.
direction with this.
Because, yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. I think it's the darkness fruit. and that's why he wanted that fruit specifically. Rest in peace,
Fair
Thatch. Could you imagine just goddamn Thatch still alive with the darkness fruit on Whitebeard? Whitebeard would be the greatest Yonko of all time.
I was gonna say, yeah.
if
Could
he
you
had
imagine?
somebody
Because then Ace would still be alive, and I wouldn't be sad about it. Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna make you watch Franky's video on why Ace is the worst character ever. It's funny.
Am I allowed to? Am I allowed to slander another YouTube channel? Are we gonna start that third
people
war?
kill him on that one.
Yeah,
dude.
good.
Yeah,
They
I think
should.
he has more dislikes than likes on that video.
Yeah, he should.
But it's interesting.
branded
We're
for
gonna
this
talk
stuff.
about this after. It's interesting.
I don't want to talk about it, dude.
This theory though, this one blew my mind.
Okay, yeah, let's have it.
I just broke my sunglasses.
You getting a little too excited about that theory, huh?
Guys, I'm Kakashi.
What do you do?
Stall them. Stall them.
Okay. Brief intermission, I guess. Oh, man.
Tell them the Kaido thing.
Yeah, you can't... The Kaido thing.
Son Goku.
Oh, well, they already know about how I think Kaido's Son Goku. I do that a lot. If you guys are wondering why I draw so many conclusions, like, oh, this fruit's related to this god, it's because I played Smite for a long time. So I have a lot of mythology or whatever in my brain, so it's hard not to draw the parallels. Like, a lot of people don't realize that Raijin, which is a Japanese god of lightning, is actually an L. People didn't draw that conclusion. I'm sure some people did, but after I saw that, it just opened my mind to thinking how many other gods are inside of One Piece that we already know about. Like, they're based on them.
Well, guys, I'm about to buy a new pair of sunglasses. Okay.
So this theory that made you break your sunglasses, you're so excited. Let's get to
No, I love this, dude.
Yeah?
It's insane. It's like, it's kind of out there, but it was such a creative idea that I'm like, dude, the One Piece community is so big, and they're so creative, and they're so good at predicting Oda from just little signs, because Oda foreshadows everything. So, okay, it involves the all... I'm just kidding. It involves the all blue, okay?
Okay.
It's kind of like a mixture between Luffy and Sanji's dreams colliding, okay? And this, I'm telling you, dude, this blew my mind, okay? The One Piece and the all blue are the same thing, okay?
Okay.
What the One Piece will be in this theory is them using the ancient weapons to destroy the red line that divides the four seas,
Oh.
uniting the entire world, and also making it the all blue.
That'd be crazy.
That blew my mind, dude. Like,
that would be nuts. Because that's so possible. That makes so much sense. Now, you gotta get to the meat and potatoes. Why does the world government not want that to happen? I guess probably for power. If you
divide and conquer. I don't know.
Yeah, that'll be interesting though. But that theory has so much to offer. It really does.
It blew my mind, and I might be leaving some crucial parts out of it, but that is like that's the basis of it. Is that with the ancient weapons, with Pluton, you blow up the red line.
And then the all
four
blue
seas
exists.
at one piece.
Yeah.
One piece.
That's pretty crazy. If that comes true, that'd be the greatest prediction in humanity ever.
that person is a genius, man. We should start making...
We need to interview this guy for a chance.
We should make a video where we both come up with a One Piece theory.
Yeah.
Next time, okay.
Yeah, we could do that.
We'll talk about
That'd
this
be
off
interesting.
camera.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this off camera.
But no, that theory is crazy. That really,
it blew my mind because
really
it's
is.
really good.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't happen, like...
It could.
Yeah.
It's good enough that it could, and it makes perfect sense. Like,
Yeah.
some of these series, it's like so many things have to line up. Like, it's just super possible. Like, the government doesn't want the weapons to fall into the wrong hands. Of course, if Luffy gets him, he's not going to give a fuck what the government wants, and he'll do what he wants.
We know that there's a hint in the word One Piece.
Somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, like
Obviously.
One Piece.
Yeah.
Wait
So-
a second. What if it's just like One Piece? I'm just kidding. Let's go.
What? All right, that's
Theory
it. Cut the
7.
video.
I think, and I mean, I think Nate already knows where I stand on this one. I think that this will come completely true. Theory 7, you,
Yep.
Theory 7, Law will die.
I believe your stance is that that will happen, and my stance is also that it will most likely happen.
Death.
It's foreshadowing.
Do you think it'll happen to Wano? Because here's the thing.
I hope
I
not.
think
God, I hope not.
these are the two routes it is, okay? These are the two routes it's
All right,
going.
lay it out.
I don't know if you knew this, viewer, Nate. Law was never supposed to be important in One Piece. He was a supernova, and he was so popular when he was introduced that he was written into the story as basically another member of the Straw Hats.
Yeah.
Which makes me extremely happy. Law's an amazing character.
Love
so
him.
it's like, so I'm just kidding. So it's like, this is the two routes I think we could go with it. It's like he is heavily foreshadowed to die, and that was his original like intention. Because, for example, the author of JoJo's is notorious for starting plot points that he veers away from or changes his idea on. So you just have these little ideas that never came to fruition. So like I guess what I'm trying to say here is that Law was intentional. Like Law was originally supposed to die, but he's became so popular that that Oda might
let him
go
live.
away from that. Especially because we know Oda changes. He's literally stated that he will change he would change things in the story if people predict it, because he doesn't like that. He doesn't like you. He wants you to be surprised. He doesn't want you to predict exactly what's going to happen. So, and he doesn't do it every time, but he is known to change things. Yeah. So he could either die in, because I think he'll die in Wano, and this is a very popular theory that he'll use like the ultimate technique of the Alpi Alpi no Mi, where he either takes immortality away from Kaido, or gives it to Luffy, or brings Luffy back to life, and I could definitely see that happening.
See, I'm the
100%.
train of thought of taking Kaido's immortality.
So that Luffy can take him down.
Yeah, Luffy being brought back, that's okay. Anyone actually becoming immortal though through that surgery, it won't happen, and I don't want it to happen.
That'd be like the Big Mom thing.
That would just kill the series.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good for writing.
Yeah, so
like a plot
that won't happen. But he could take his immortality away, or he could bring Luffy back. If I had to see one, I'd like to see him take the immortality away. But hopefully none, because I like Law a lot. It's one of my favorite characters.
Because there's that theory where the previous user, the Alpi Alpi no Mi, put Kaido into that room and did the, I forget what it's called, but it's called something surgery. Maybe it's like the immortal surgery or something like that, but
Nonetheless.
That's not what it's called. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
The theory is that he was put into that, like Kaido was put into that originally, which I can see that.
Yeah, that's true.
But
What's the other route? That he doesn't die at Wano, and then what? Because I think he will die.
He won't die.
Do you think?
Because he's popular.
There's a third path, and it goes with he doesn't die, but then takes a little shortcut, and he does. I think he'll die eventually. I just don't think he'll die at Wano. Yeah, I think that. But not only do I think he will, I think he should. I think there'll be significance and importance
if
they would do that. Yeah, I don't want Ace to die. I don't want Law to die, but
Law
there's
would be
a lot of
a
importance.
fucking legend if he died for and make it like an extremely significant death where he's saving somebody, giving them the edge over Kaido.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, dude.
Or even later on, because he could use that surgery at a different time as well. So, I don't want to see him die, but I think he will.
Make him a Straw Hat. Beppo. Beppo, you can be like the new Karoo of the Straw Hat Pirates. You can be the pet. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. Zoro is from Wano.
Don't we know where Zoro's from? Don't we know where his birthplace is? Like what sea?
I mean, he grew up in the East.
I guess growing up isn't the same thing as being born somewhere.
Yeah, and this is something a lot of people think are true. I never thought we had any proof.
Yeah.
But it's just people really want to, because we just found out Sanji's backstory and stuff. People think that in Wano we're going to discover
Zoro kind of backstory.
I think, and I'm going to spin off of this theory, I don't think we'll find out that Zoro's from Wano. I think we might find out that Kawina was from Wano. I don't know if we're going to run into Kawina, like, I don't know.
Hmm.
I think that there's going to be a plot point with Queen. I don't know if we're going to run into her again, but like a big thing with like the Tashigi theory that we talked about earlier, Kuina being Tashigi, like kind of combining it with this theory, is that it's kind of like her dad didn't want her to be it's like it's really weird, but people think that there's some kind of like her dad lying and like kind of sending her off to the Marines,
Yeah.
and there's some stuff like that. So I think we might, because and recently one of uh one of Oda's editors said that we're gonna find out that a character we know, a very popular character, is tied to Wano, but it won't be a main character, and I think it might be Kuina. But do you think Zora's from Wano?
Do I think Zora's from Wano?
I don't think he needs to be. Well, I think his okay. I'm not trying to cut you off.
I'm thinking anyway.
I think his dad, not his dad. I think his master might have been from Wano.
See, we know nothing about Zora's family, so it's hard. It can just go out. It's like all of these theories. It can go either way. Do I personally think he's from there? No. I don't, because I don't want him to be. Because Zora is a monster, and other people from around, and in Luffy's crew, they're a monster, and a lot of them were from East Blue, and everyone's always like,
And that metaphor.
the weakest sea.
And Gold Roger was from there.
Yeah, exactly. So I really would rather see Zora be from East Blue. I mean, regardless of whether he was originally, he grew up there, and that's where he got strong. So like that still speaks for East Blue maybe not being the weakest sea or whatever. Maybe it might be the weakest, but they breed the strongest people, and then they leave. But do I think he's from there? No, and I don't want him to be. So that's where my opinion's coming from. I'm biased because I don't want him to be from Wano.
To quote Son Goku, East Blue is a symbol of peace. No, that is actually, I've never thought about that, but that changes my entire outlook on that, because I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't, it kind of, because I love, like, you know how there's like that, there's like half the community is, like, you're either a Zoro or a Sanji fan. Like,
Yeah, I'm both.
I'm both too. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I'm both. They're both amazing characters. I like them both pretty much the same. I do think Zoro is objectively stronger than Sanji.
See, I do too. I love them both as characters, but I'd agree Zoro's most likely stronger.
Because here's the thing about Sanji. It's like, Sanji ended up being, he was like a fucking, definitely not an android, but he was like a genetically altered person, like he's a genetically altered person made with science to be strong. And it's like, oh, he left his family because they bullied him because he was a dud. Bro, he wasn't a dud. Like, he was a late bloomer. Like, I don't think many people think about this, but think about Sanji's like feats and how strong he is from fighting some of the strongest, like one of the strongest fishermen at Arlong Park, like so on and so forth, like fighting really strong people. Like, he wasn't a dud. And I'm not saying that he was as strong as his other siblings or anything, but he definitely profited from being like a member of that family.
Yeah, well, you have to also consider that a dud was somewhat, it was partially because his dad wanted emotionless soldiers, and he wasn't. He was like kind of a little wuss as a kid. So that also plays a part. Maybe his strength, I mean, he was like kind of weak as a kid as well, but I think it's both. It's not just that he was like physically weak, but mentally he was weak. Because you see in the Big Mom arc, they're going to die, and they literally just don't care. They're like, okay, we're going to die, that's it. And they just sit there and they're going to accept it. So I think that was another reason, is that he actually cared about living a life.
Now that I think about it, his skin also wasn't, because the other people were like, their skin is like steel.
Yeah, and his wasn't.
And his wasn't. But I think it's somewhere in the middle, because I do think I think that.
Well, I think what they did to him as a kid did change, obviously, but not the way it changed the rest of his siblings. I think he is different. But what they did, he's a late bloomer, but he didn't bloom into the same flower that his siblings did.
Okay, let me think. Have you heard the thing where the reason that Sanji like is so obsessed with women is because the only people that was nice to him when he was a kid was his mom and his sister?
I have, and I can tell you in real life that's how it works, but probably not. Like, it could not work like that in One Piece, but in real life for sure that'd make perfect sense. So,
well, guys, that's all the theories I have for today. I think that we're going to make this a semi-regular thing, maybe bi-weekly, where we pick a
Yeah.
series, we get a bunch of theories from it, and then one of us will read them off, and we'll get our first takes on our opinions. So if you like this video, guys, hit the like button, hit the notification bell if you want to keep seeing our videos. Please subscribe if you want to join the Yakuza. Dylan Moon, out.